the CEO of Reason and the inspiration for much of the incredible things that are happening in the West Coast Bay Area in education and free software. Give it up for Cathy and Elmo's long-term benefits of your work, how free and open source software is changing people's lives. Cathy.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here. I was mildly uncomfortable. I'm incredibly shy. I'd rather be in a cave just working on my laptop. But if y'all are developers and Linux people, then I'm happy I'm okay. I was walking in here, seeing a guy come in with a big om nom nom on his shirt, you know, the big black shirt, and I'm like, okay, I'm in my zone. I can handle it. You guys are fun. I love you. I can be here. Okay, so my talk is based on the theory that there may never be a year of Linux, and we'll see it in hindsight probably, that many of the changes that are being made are happening on a very small, almost imperceptible scale. We can celebrate them individually, but we have kind of a machine gun approach to converting people to Linux. There's so many different bullets going so many different directions that it's really hard to see how many people are currently using Linux. We don't track it. I'm glad we don't track it. And so my approach is just to show you a few of those bullets. But I'm wildly uncomfortable talking to people that I don't know. So first, I'm going to give you a quick 60-second introduction to myself. I'm not a business person. I'm just pretending for a little while because I love having a computer that doesn't waste my time. I'm very impatient. I happen to get incredibly lucky and marry a guy who gave up a programming career of 20 years to help me out and to be the brains behind the company and doing the R&D for incredibly solid hardware. Admittedly, the software makes it a heck of a lot easier, but we're having a lot of fun. That oldest right there is my son. If you're a gamer, then you understand the hat. He's the one who often manages the shop. He's the first one in and the last one out. That's Vincent. This picture speaks for itself. This is another one of my sons. I have found that negligent parenting is often quite successful in helping kids figure things out themselves. We have found out time and time again that when we're not there to help him out, he figures it out just fine on his own. A lot of kids do. If you're there coddling them and comforting them and walking them through step by step by step by step, they don't take ownership. But if they come up to you and they say, hey mom, how do I install this mod? And you say, I don't know, I don't have time, they figure it out. And this is my youngest. We finally figured out that we better stop doing deliveries of our computers. We're in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley area, and we build computers for some fairly high-end companies. One of the companies we were delivering, 20, 30 computers to at a time was founded by one of the original Google architects. And we figured, we've got to stop doing these deliveries in an old beat-up minivan. So we got a decent car, put a Linux license plate on it, and now we do the computer deliveries in that. And of course, my youngest grabbed the license plate and said, ooh, can I put it on? Okay, now I want to know about you guys. If this is a room full of developers, I'm happy. So, how many of you have been using Linux for less than a year? How about more? How about 5 years? 5 years or less? Yes. Okay. 10 years or less? 15? 20? I'm in my happy zone. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. I wouldn't ask. I've tried before by getting to know people by asking which distro do you use, but it goes on too long. So I'm not going to ask that one. This is how I see you. This is my perception of the community. That's my stereotype. That's how I see us. The way I understand it, because as of 7, 8 years, actually 10 years ago, we used to have a house in Washington State. I grew up near Redmond, southern level the Washington forests. We had 9 computers. We weren't wealthy or anything, but our 2 youngest kids had us convinced that they had to have 9 computers so their friends could come over after school. And they weren't running Linux. And let's just say that every weekend, every evening, we were doing tech support, fixing those 9 computers. And I'm going to tell you a quick, short story. It's pretty crummy for a little kid to have computers always down and always breaking. And so the oldest, the Quest hat giver guy you saw first, Vincent, One day he found a magnet at school underneath the cafeteria table. He brought it home, and being, what, 6 or 7 years old, he put it on one of the monitors. I guess he heard about it or something, and it made a pretty rainbow. So I went to the next one on another monitor, on all 9 monitors. And I came down later and I saw this beautiful psychedelic display on all the desktops. And I said, that's not what happened. And he said, well, it's prettier than blue screens. It actually is. So, thank you. Thank you, Vincent. And you're about to hear how the other son helped us switch over to Linux also. But from the way I understand how the community works, because I am still new, the way I understand how the community works is that you'll have a bright idea, you set up a project, you get other people to help you, and it goes on its own merits if it's going to go. But why do we do what we do? Now, a really brilliant woman named Stormy Peters gives a talk called You Should Do It Again for Free. And if you haven't heard that talk, I highly recommend looking it up. You can find it online. She's given it several times. Looking into the concept of why we do what we do. Why do we spend our valuable time contributing to something when we don't see the people who end up getting it, the people who end up using it? You know, you're solving a puzzle, and that's really fun, and it's a lot more rewarding than a lot of puzzles you can solve. But you can also play a game, you can also do lots of other things with your time. Why do you contribute to build this code base that, as Mad Dog said last night, it's about the value of the software, not price tags, the value of the software, and what we built is phenomenal. And thankfully I get to share some of that with you today. So, instead of guessing what you all might be motivated by, I'm going to use a machine gun approach. Hopefully one of the motivations I'm going to mention today will be your motivation, why you do what you do. I'm going to, I suspect that many of us don't see where our software ends up. We don't see the end user, we don't see the people who are eventually using the code we work on. Or even if you're not actually contributing to the code base, you're probably motivating people, you're probably talking to about it. I'm assuming that you're part of that group. That's why you're here. So when I became motivated by Linux software, this was my response. I wasn't contributing to the code base, but I did want to make cool hardware. And so we built a website, we started building computers. It's been in our 5th year. That was what I could do to support free open source software. Part of the reason was because we've been volunteering at a place called ACCRC. It's Alameda County Computer Recycling Center. And for some bizarre reason, the state of California will let you recycle desktops, but if somebody donates a brand new laptop they don't need anymore, you gotta melt it down. Thank you, California. All used laptops cannot be refurbished through a recycling agency and given out to the community through to nonprofits or whoever. So we saw that they could, Mad Dog, your talk yesterday was perfect. We saw how the recycling center could take these pieces of junk, put Ubuntu on it, and have it run fast and solid for a long time. And ACCRC's theory was, if you break it, we'll give you a new one. So we loved what they were doing, but we wanted high-end, we wanted faster machines. So we decided to build faster machines. Now, do any of you develop, do you know, have you met and do you work directly with the people that you're developing for? Anybody? Okay, a few, good. I was hoping not a lot because that's kind of the value of my talk here. I wanted to tell you some of the people that are getting the computers, because I actually get to see the connection. I'm in this weird spot in between the developers and the people who are using free and open source software, and I get to see the people on the other end that you guys aren't seeing. Now, when we first started, nearly everybody who bought computers from us were enthusiasts or developers or brilliant people, and we loved it. It's what helped us get going because, you know, suspend and hibernate was the Achilles heel for the longest time, and we'd send out a computer, somebody'd email us back, or they'd email us back with, hey, did you know it could do this? You can fix this. And because the computers were getting out there, there's more motivation to fix the problems, and suspend and hibernate got fixed, and tons of other things got fixed. The developers were helping us, and we were helping them. But several years ago, probably before 2000, we started getting customers who had never used Linux before. And we had been waiting for the day. I didn't know what the call would be like, but we were waiting for the phone call. The phone call where the tech support phone call, where we realized that we'd really hit people who'd never used Linux before, people whose focus in life, let me put it gently, was not computers.